We are live. Oh no, we're too bright. Too bright. How unprofessional. I might get stuck, get my green screen back downstairs. I'm not sure. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 Level 1. I am one of your hosts, Alice Kennedy, and here with me, as always, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the sometimes current, mostly former CEO of Xbox, the man of many names, but we just call him one, Andy.
Yeah, Mr. Andy Urquhart here, as always.
What do you think of that intro, eh? That rocked your socks, didn't it?
I'm dreading what's to come next.
You're dreading. Can I just say something? I'll just show you. Obviously, this is still. I really love this thing. There will be a full video of this later. But I also love this. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to not use this as much because, as Andy and everyone that listens knows, I don't use these as much. It's just the day one look. I just wanted it, the whiteness. However, the feel, like the metal, like this is metal, like this stand, like this big.
Yeah.
stand.
It's obviously it's metal. It was never going to be plastic. It's surface.
Feels premium.
Like I know. I've got a surface. I know exactly what it feels like.
Surface is not as good. But look at all that real estate, man. Like I had my old one on next to it, and see the reviews that say you need to see it on, like to see the colour. Obviously, this isn't going to show it right at all because it's on video. But, oh my goodness, like beautiful. Like it makes the other one feel like a toy, and like I know they are technically toys, but even the dock. I want to use. There'll be a full video. There'll be a full video pretty soon of all the unboxing and stuff like that. I just haven't finished it yet because it's been a long day after work. The dock, the new dock, I think it feels more like a premium product compared to the old dock, personally. It just looks...
Do you know what I don't like about it, right?
Have you seen it in person? Yeah.
I haven't seen it in person, right? But like I've seen videos of it. What I don't like about it, I like the design and everything. I like that it's got the Ethernet port. One thing I don't like about it is that the back doesn't have a hinge. It just pops off now. There's no hinge in the back.
What happens is it's designed to be static now because of the LAN cable. So you plug it all in and put it out the hole and then pop that back straight back on. But I get what you mean. The hinge was handy because you could flop it down, untake, but it's fine. It's good. Anyway, my opinion was based on the aesthetic. Yours was based on the practicality. But from looks alone,
no, I didn't say that I didn't like it. I just said that I didn't like that one aspect of it. The rest of it, I think's cool.
But I was talking in comparison to the old dock. It just now the old dock feels third party now. But I'll get into it later. But I normally don't play docked as you know, Andy. But I'm waiting on this fully charging and it's downloading. Here's my biggest gripe with Nintendo. Brilliant. It was like the setup of the PlayStation. Remember, scan the QR code, sign in. Nintendo now do this. They didn't do it when I got my current Switch, which is the slightly upgraded battery. It was sign in all over again. This now allows you to scan the smart thing, sign in, blah blah, and I'm logged in, like password set already. However, like I said, your games, I'm like, transfer, it's like, no, you get your games in the cloud now, and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted, Nintendo. Like, I'm going to have to just move them all over, please, and it's like, no. One good thing, this is just a small review, because I don't really want to fully review the new on here, plus we're going to be doing a pickups video in a few weeks' time that I'm going to show it off a bit more and unboxing and such. I wish it was more like Smart Switch. Why can't I hit transfer all and everything that's there just moves over? Instead of having to re-download bit by bit. Anyway, it's done. And to be fair, most of my cloud saves are there, but there's some games that don't back up to cloud, like Splatoon 2, I believe, doesn't have cloud saves to try and avoid cheating, even though it's filled with cheats. But yeah, and the other thing that's going to annoy me is see my time playing games. I forgot about this. It's all back to zero of like time spent playing games. Hello, Science Pie. Mr. Pie's with us, Andy. He says, "Evening, lads." It's been a while. I don't know. Like I've had them side by side. They're the same size, but there's something about this new one. It feels like a whole new unit. It really does. There's been small redesigns and even like your power, volume up, volume down. I can't really show it on here, but those are redesigned. Oh, you can maybe see it.
Yeah, they've changed the shape of the buttons and stuff. Yeah.
Like, see this? I've got to promote this. See this here, this clip-on thing. This basically came with my screen protectors. It is the
You know what I
ultimate
think you
lazy
should
man.
do?
Look,
I think you
and they're
should
secure.
review that. I think you should review just that grip.
Just the grip, not the Switch. Just
No, do a full separate video on just that grip. None of the Switch, just the grip.
I don't know how long that video may be, Andy, but it's good. It's kind of it doesn't like make it any. It doesn't make it uncomfortable by any means. It's just actually gives me a place to rest my fingers like there, which is nice. Because as everybody knows, these aren't sufficient enough for triggers. But yeah, I just like it because look, I've still got physical games on Switch, and like I can just go, pow, there's my Zelda Skyward Sword. Oh, pow, there's my Monster Hunter Rise. Oh, pow, there's what is I can't really read them because I'm seeing it through the camera. But look, secure. Basically, it was $14.99 on Amazon. It came with 2 glass screen protectors because I always like a screen protector. The screen protectors were $9.99 themselves, and I went, do you know what? I get what Andy's saying because I usually use my Hori split pad, but there are times when I do use Joy-Con. So, plus it's got that like, no one knows I've got an OLED until I've got the white. Like you get the red and blue OLED, you're doing Switch OLED wrong, my friend. You need the white. This says all new, hot, fresh. That's what this says. But yes, the only thing I need now, and I know you're the controller police, but I need a white Pro controller. I need a white one.
Well, the Smash Bros. One's like got white bits on it.
No, I need it the opposite colours of the current one that's all black. I need it white. I need it white to match that so that it can sit next to my DualSense and my PlayStation 5 and it all looks nice, and then I just get annoyed at my Series X for being the colour it is. Look at my humble brags about the consoles I've got just now. Anyway, for me, I think it's brilliant. If you're buying the Switch OLED and you're expecting a boost if you're a dock gamer, it's the same. It's the exact same. There's no difference. There is the future capability of outputting HDMI 2 or 3.0 with the 4K and stuff. So like it's future proof to a point, but yeah, the main part is the system. If you play handheld and Switch, that's essential because from what I read up, the battery life was already extended, as you know, Andy, with the sort of mini revision they did. OLED also works in conjunction with this new battery to extend the battery life even further. I haven't had a full test because it only came out today. I only finished work, came home about 6, so I've only managed to have it out for a couple of hours. And most of that time has been on charge because it's downloading like every game under the sun. Because I found 256 gigabyte Samsung memory cards just hanging about in a drawer for no reason, and I checked the contents of them, assuming they'd be pictures and stuff. Absolutely nothing on either of them. I'm like, why do I have these? I remember buying one of them vaguely, but no. So I've got 256 in that. I've got 128 my current Switch, which is already full, and you've got 64 gig as standard built into this one. So yeah, absolutely lovely, absolutely brilliant. Of course. Do you know what? I ain't even going to keep the people waiting, Andy, because we know what they're here for. I know what Science Pie is here for. I dread to think who else is viewing this. See what I did there. Metroid Dread, man. It came out today as well. I will keep you waiting slightly longer than that because there is a story behind that. I now own 2 copies on launch day. So
because you're impatient. You're impatient. That's what it is.
I worry about delivery times.
You're impatient. That's all it is.
Listen, I worry about delivery times, so I pre-ordered it plenty of time. I ordered on the June, the special edition of Nintendo Store, and as you know as well, Nintendo aren't as always day one guaranteed as the likes of Very and Amazon. And it came to, what did I say? I watched it all day, and it just said processing from order, and in between that time, my Switch OLED had shipped, and it was on its way. It was all good, and I'm like, this hasn't changed. So they had to 5 o'clock. And I went, do you know what? I really don't want to have to buy this again. So I said, I'll give them to 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock at night, Andy, if something hasn't shipped, 9 times out of 10, you ain't getting that the next day. Is this true?
Well,
Is it
depends
true?
on how
Most of the time.
Right. So it depends on how that company's system operates, because maybe their system doesn't lock in until they're closed.
Enough. The answer's yes. So the answer's yes. You're at it. So like basically, I didn't think it was coming, and I'm like 7 o'clock. I need to get it digital. I have to play this. I have to, and then I get myself excited. I'm like, I can play at midnight. This is going to be ace. So Everyone on Twitter's buzzing about it all day. There's a reason I'm going to get to it. Gee, honestly, I'm getting there. It's just this story I need to tell. So I bought the digital version, pre-installed it. I've got the times of my emails I sent to Andy. Literally, 15 minutes maybe afterwards, after it said thank you for your purchase, I get an email through saying your special edition Nintendo Metroid game has shipped, and I was like, I can't even cancel it because you can only cancel a download if you haven't already hit download, and I did. I've got 2 copies now. Oh well.
But 50 quid. I don't care.
Well, the thing is, I paid for it back in June. I paid for it already back in June. This is sold out, the special edition, so the money will go up. I'll keep a hold of this one. I've got a wee mini Metroid collection, as you know. I've got my 3DS XL with the box. I've got all the amiibos for Metroid. I've got Samus Returns, Hunters on the DS still. That one that I bought last couple of months ago, the chibi sort of 3DS one, I've got that as well. And yeah, I mean, like, Metroid's good. I've always kind of...
You haven't even told the funniest part of that story yet.
What was the funniest part of my story? Oh, sorry, yes, the midnight. So, so I was upstairs and I was sitting all night. I was sending videos in the group chat of, it's not ready yet, it's not ready yet. I was so excited to play Metroid, and the wife comes to bed. It's 10:30 at night, and I'm like, right, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to play my game, Tasha. I won't be up too late on it. She's like, fine. Cup of tea made. Video on to catch up. Even though I've been playing through them, as you know, Andy, the last year to catch up the Metroids, I'm like, right, the full history of Metroid, sitting watching it, messaging Andy, I'm messaging everyone, I'm so excited. The last time on the clock I remember seeing is 11:30, I fall asleep and wake up at 6 in the morning because of my old ass. Can't do it anymore. So I didn't even get the midnight launch benefit. Even if I'd played 10 minutes, Andy, it would have made it all worth it. Because you'd messaged me after the fact. I woke up this morning, you're like, so how is it? And I'm like, yeah, I fell asleep. So I wasn't taking that though. So I wanted to play this game, so I took it to work. And I went, I'm taking the first lunch because then you're guaranteed usually an hour without any interruptions. I took my stand in, my Pro controller, headphones. I took these in, my Beats. I can fully recommend using headphones simply because of the audio. So
Bluetooth now on Switch, yeah? So
absolutely, yes. I just used Bluetooth headphones. So it was cool. Sitting there gaming away at lunchtime. I nearly forgot to eat my lunch. Shepherd's pie. Thanks for asking.
Very nice.
The game itself. I played this in standard Switch first of all. It looks amazing. It looks phenomenal. It's one of the nicest looking 2D games I have ever seen. The other thing is, Samus's movement is so fluid, it's unbelievable. If you've played any of the other old Metroids like Zero Mission, Samus Return, even the 3DS one, it's kind of set on your axis, like a box movement. So like your movement still feels, it doesn't feel like it flows. This all changed, man. This is different. This almost feels acrobatic to a point. Or could I get like a backflip move? Could I do like a Bayonetta style dodge move and stuff? Like, that's how smooth this feels. Audio design's phenomenal. Like, I was playing it earlier and you can hear things in the background. I'm not even playing it through surround sound because I can't, because I've got 2 kids. It's just superb. And I'm not a big audiophile, as you know, Andy, but the sound in it, I would say if you're playing and you can, use the best set of headphones you can possibly if you don't have a speaker set up. From drops in the caves, like you're sort of in the background, to like creatures, to like just the gunfire, everything. So before I go off on wild tangents, if you want to play this game and you've never played Metroid, no back reading required. Like, it helps the enjoyment, but you're still going to go into this. There's a small recap at the start to let you know where Samus has been, where she's at now, and it's acceptable. There's mega lore in Metroid games, but it's not over complex, the story, really. Some of the words are confusing of the namings of things. But basically, you end up on a planet and you see one of the Shozo, which are the... Thanks, Science Pie. Great water drop sound effects he said there. Andy hates them. He hates every noise I make with my mouth.
I do hate that noise, right? But you are very good at making that noise. I'll give you that. It's a good noise. It annoys me.
Hey man, like it must be on my birthday or something. Andy's giving me compliments. So anyway,
ASMR. That's what you should get into with the.
Nah. So yeah, Metroid. Yeah, no back reading required. Recommended because the Metroid games are superb. You're dropped off on this planet. You kind of meet with the Shozo King guy. He's got like an arm cannon as well, and he kind of drains all Samus's powers out as if to say, And you wake up and you're at the bottom of the planet. Usually you land and you have to get to the bottom. This time you're kind of working your way up, right? And I'll try and keep this as spoiler free as possible, but everyone knows about the Emmy, which are like sort of white, sort of futuristic, cyborg looking robots, which is, it's perfect that that's white and black controllers with the OLED switch. These things were sent to, I think it's the X-Parasite, not the Metroid. Yes, it is the X-Parasite. These things were sent to clear it up because there was an image sent to Samus at the start saying these things are still about. We need to get rid of them. They're a threat to the galaxy. The Emmy were sent to Pro and they lost contact, all the usual. So you get there and these Emmy are like, fuck you, you're the enemy. I'm going to kill your ass, Samus. And you're like, shit. So you've seen the videos. You can't explain that they have chose such a good name for this game until you play it. Like, you put this game on and you will 100% be like, fuck. Like, it's like, I'm dead. Like, if the thing gets too close to you, it will kill you. You're dead. There is the smallest...
Sorry, I don't know that.
I got a fright there. It is the smallest... it is the smallest... Echo Dot in the corner. It is the smallest window that you can counter the Emmy robot. And it's basically not possible. So if it catches you, you accept your fate. So when these things are like... They're making these sort of weird, almost creature-like cybernetic noises that it's fucking terrifying. They're like beeps and boops and... you don't want to be anywhere near it, you know, like you just want out of there. So the way it works is there's like 7 of them total. I think there's going to be more because 8's a nice round number, and I've killed 2 already. And I've killed one boss that wasn't enemy. So when you get into their zones, right, you've got these kind of doors with like crazy cubes. And they can't come out those doors. They're just kind of in this area. So it's not like they can stalk you anywhere like Nemesis and Resi 3 sort of thing.
Yeah.
But when you're in those areas, they will get your ass, man. They will crawl through vents. They will grab you. If they hear you, you're fucked, basically. I don't want to ruin the power, so I won't. I'm not even going to talk about the powers in this chat this week. You do have methods of evading them slightly. But if they catch you again, if you touch them, you're dead. So the way that you can combat these enemies, like the AI, I think it's called Adam still, the AI tells you you're screwed. Even at full power, Samus, you're screwed. He uses the word helplessness. He uses the word fuck. No, he doesn't. He doesn't say that at all. He just says you're done if these guys get you.
Imagine a Nintendo game. Sorry, mate, you're fucked.
I'm pretty sure there's swear words in Bayonetta 2. It's a Nintendo game.
They're not going to say fuck.
I'm pretty sure Bayonetta drops F-bomb. Pretty sure she does.
Okay.
Or
that is an 18, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure.
It is an 18. So this game, like, I've never been scared of Metroid. This definitely has this atmosphere of... every time you see your next path, okay? I do have some bad points about this as well. Every time you see your next path and it comes to one of these doors, Andy, you're like, oh, shit. And sometimes you'll go in, right? And the Emmy will be sitting there and it'll just grab you and fuck your shit up. It's like you're done. You are done. And it's fine. It's fine. But I've never had so many game overs in a Metroid Never felt like it was going to be a challenge. Even though you are in an environment where every living creature and non-living wants to kill you, you've still got your standard Metroid puzzles, like switches to change the environment, because sometimes you have to change the flow of the thermal lava sometimes, so you can get different paths. And as everyone knows, Metroidvania style games, a lot of backtracking to get to areas you previously couldn't once you unlock abilities. Still not got the morph ball yet. I don't know. I'm imagining that's going to be, because I've came across some passages that I cannot access. I'm on the second biome, as that's what the kids are calling levels these days. So I'm on the second biome, and the thing is that you can really see the difference. Like, it's not just a case of this whole world flows and it feels like the same world. It's a different level. It's a different atmosphere, different sound type. I think the path, I've played maybe 2 or 3 hours. I think the way they're going through this is a case of there's an enemy in every one of these worlds, and to get the power to blast them in the face, you need to kill this big boss guy here. So the first big boss I fought, you've maybe seen the trailer in the treehouse gameplay. It was like a kind of scorpion looking thing that kind of fired his tail at you, and then he goes, just as you figure him out, he turns invisible, and you're like, good, this is good. I wouldn't consider this like Dark Souls Bloodborne still solid, but it's more challenging than I expected going in, and it's also more rewarding. Like, you constantly feel like you're making progress. The checkpoints are generous. It's never like you die and you're like, why am I so far away? If you're in an enemy room, you get kicked back to the door you came in. If you want, you go back to the door you came in that area of the environment. So the one thing they've brought over combat-wise, I don't want to talk about any of the power-ups, I just want people to discover them, because everyone knows Samus standard power-ups. You've got your charged laser, you've got your rockets, things like that. They're all back, but there's slight twists on the way things work with some things, and it's all good so far. I want everybody watching to discover it, and it wouldn't be fair on launch day to talk about all those secrets. I'm not far enough in to know all of the secrets either, so I can't even talk about traversal, because my cool method of traversal is a power-up. I like her new suit. I like the white, I like the green. I think it's a cool, funky, changing design. The parts I don't like. So combat's fine. It's brought over from Samus Returns the parry move, where if you time it right and you see the circle around the enemy attacking, parry, shoot straight away, 1,000,000 pieces, and it feels so good every time you pull it off. That's
like Bloodborne.
Yeah,
that's exactly like Bloodborne.
If you parry, you've got a one shot. Yeah. So Samus Returns,
not on every enemy, but like you've got a massive damage attack.
Yeah, on Samus Returns on the 3DS, that's where they pioneered this. It just feels like they took everything that was good about that game, which there is a lot of good things about it, and just refined it. And before the show we were talking, and we're not going to get into what is a AAA game argument again, but like I was worried going into this that because it was 2D, I know sacrilege, I was raised in 2D, that it would feel these days that, is this truly worth the £50 entry price or $60, whatever it is? Yes, this 100% feels like a AAA. Holy fuck, I'm glad I got this game. It is so epic. It feels like the map. When you go on the map, this is the bad point, there's so much on the fucking map. Like, see on the old maps, you had like this box, you had an area here. This, it would just say you're in this room. Here's the red. This whole bit's flashing. Seeing this new one, it goes in so close. It's like you're in this part. You're in this part. It's like okay, I get that I'm here, but there's so much going on. I'll just try and head left and down. Like, that's my tactics. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think the map is heavily confusing. And your other thing that I don't like, when I was talking about the controls, you've got so many moves that sometimes you feel like I need to learn to play the flute or like the harpsichord.
I know what your problem is there.
Joy-Cons.
Moves. Joy-Cons.
But I was playing on the TV, so that's a load of shit. So, I played this primarily. As you know, at work as well, I took my Pro Controller. So, yeah, you do sometimes. I don't know if she's got a slide move to go under things. which can be combined with combat like slide, jump, shoot, and I think
Yeah.
once people get this flowing, we're going to see some awesome speedrunning videos on YouTube. But sliding under, it's L2 left trigger at the back there, and for some reason my finger keeps just going to right trigger to slide. I don't know why. But yeah, sometimes it feels like
it'll be because most of the time you'll be moving to the right, probably.
true, but it just feels like, well, make it both then, make it left trigger, right trigger. But they've got this stand and aim, so if you hold left trigger down when you're standing, the laser pointer comes out and you can shoot. You have to hold R1, L1 and push X to fire a rocket. You know, it's like, so it feels like finger ballet sometimes.
Right, okay,
And when things get hectic, you can end up like this.
Yeah, you're trying to remember which thing to do, especially when a new game, a new control scheme that you're not used to. Like, yeah.
Aside from that, everything about it's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm not going to jump the gun and say it's my favourite game of the year, because I think there's two other games that are vying for that title, rightly so. For me, Monster Hunter Rise and The Artful Escape. But if this keeps this up, then there's no contest, and I will be taking no further questions on that if this game keeps it up. From everything I've heard, the game is a blast from start to end. This is meant to be Samus's last hurrah. I don't believe they're going to finish Metroid, plus the fact we know Metroid Prime 4 is coming. Unless they do what they did with the original trilogy and they fit that in between 1 and 2. If they fit the new Prime game in between 4 and 5, like Fusion and this one, who knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't got this game and you've got a Switch, you need to buy it. Like, this is not a drill. This is not a, oh, you might like it. I'm not accepting it. If someone tells me they don't like Metroid Dread, then you can put your Switch in the bin and get in the bin after it and just shut the lid. It is almost perfect. Usually Nintendo, though, Smash, Mario Odyssey, etc. controls are watching. I'm okay with Smash and Mario Odyssey, being honest.
Well, Mario Odyssey, like, the basic controls are completely fine, like your usual, like, jumping and all that. But, like, see, once you get into the more complicated stuff, like, it's really difficult to control. Like, if you're doing the, like, see, if you're going for every moon or star or sun or whatever it is, like, it is very, very challenging.
I'm just really fucking good at that game, so I can't agree with either of you, but thanks.
No. You don't have all the moons. Or,
oh, no, I
moons?
don't need... See, you can't even remember. Yes, it is moons. So I am so good at that game, man. Smash, I disagree, though. Smash's controls have been kind of the same since the GameCube.
Yeah, no, but they are complicated. Like, think how many different moves you have in Smash. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, but it can be as difficult as you want it to be. Like, you don't need to know all the moves. Lexi played it yesterday, so... No.
Yeah, you can button bash. Like, that's what I do. It's fun to do that way, but if you want to master it, like, it's hard.
Yeah, that's a challenge. That's what gaming's about.
Ali's like, I'm the god of games.
No, I'm not. I do feel good, though.
You've not beaten a Soulsborne game. You cannot talk to the god of games.
Yeah, there's no video evidence still, so it could have been Bethany or Ashley, who knows.
Okay, very good.
Dash, jump, fling hat, port hat, and then twist. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Exactly.
I can do that after.
Not easy. Oh my god.
I could do that blindfolded. That's not a challenge. I could
okay,
also.
There's your new challenge.
Andy,
your new challenge for
you can't issue any challenges until you eat those Kinder eggs.
Every moon.
Stop. You're not the challenge giver until you're the challenge taker.
Mario Odyssey.
Every moon in Mario Odyssey. It would be too easy. It'd be wasting my time. I'm all about the Metroid Dread. Anyway, that's a minor gripe. It is probably going to get easier. Used to. I bet you struggled in the Master System as well. 2-button.
I
2-button Bob. Anyway, Metroid at the moment is a pure. We don't rate games on here, as you know, Andy, but this is a pure 10 out of 10. This is 100. There's nothing wrong with it, really. Those are minor gripes. Like, the game itself's flawless. Like, there's going to be people moaning about Metroid, like Super Metroid and games previous, saying, oh, it's not accurate enough. This map sucks. It's like, now they've given you a big-ass map. And for me, it's like, you're showing too much here. You're giving me where things are. I just want to discover. I want to shoot at every room I'm in. And I want to find the stuff. But they're kind of laying things out. So I wouldn't call it easy by any means, but I enjoy it. So, and did you get Metroid? Did you buy Metroid on this fine Metroid Dread Day?
No.
When are you getting this game? You need to get this game. You can't not have this game.
I will 100% buy this game, but I have not got it yet.
As you know, I was excited. I didn't expect to play it and to have the game level match my hype level.
Yeah.
Like, you know that
Do you know
thing in
actually
Dragon Ball where they touch the fingers doing that? That's what happened with the hype and the game. Like, it blended perfect. Like, it's so good. Like, I wouldn't.
Do you know the only reason? Do you know the only reason that I didn't get it is because I'd pre-ordered it on Amazon like months ago. Like,
You did,
not
yeah.
as long ago as you. I pre-ordered it on Amazon months ago, and I went and I looked at I was looking at my orders last week, and I'm looking at the orders, and I'm going, Metroid arrives 13th of.
But you knew this when you pre-ordered it because we discussed this the day you pre-ordered it. You took your sweet time.
No, I know, but I thought that would come forwards as we got closer to launch. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, it's not going to come to the 13th. Like, well, I'll just cancel this pre-order and I'll buy it in a shop. But I have not been to a shop yet to buy this one.
Yeah, you could have. To be fair, that's a bit rubbish because you could have literally walked in a shop and bought it today. Because I was down the town and I seen Game had copies, so I don't understand why Amazon. Maybe they just sold out their allocation because a lot of people use them.
Yeah, they must have done. Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, this is a must buy. This is not even. This is up there with you buy a Switch, you buy Mario Kart. It's as simple as that. That's how essential this is. You buy a Switch, you buy Zelda, you buy Mario Kart, and you buy this. You maybe buy Smash and you buy Mario Odyssey if you want the hardest controls in the world. But yeah, Metroid. I'm absolutely in love with this game. I can't get enough of it. I'm going to definitely play more of it after the show, and if you just tuned in to hear that, give us a like, subscribe, your thoughts on Metroid, and I'll maybe never see you again, but thanks very much for that. But Metroid Prime's awesome. Let me know what you think about it. Because I'm a biggish fan of Metroid. Sure. I mean, since day one, I've had Samus ball symbol as my Switch icon, and I've never changed it. And I've got Metroid stuff, but this is the first one I've got day one. I would definitely the first one. I don't even think I got Prime. I didn't get Prime day one. Get down, please, but cat down. Like the table's full of like my wee one's colour and stuff, and he's trying to like find a way to come over to me. I'm here. Look, is this not a simpler route?
It's an Emmy. That's what it is. Strike.
Yeah, true. Well, I'll just blast you off. But yeah, honestly, buy this game. I can't say enough good stuff about it. I will be talking about this more and more probably on Tuesday because this is technically our podcast from Tuesday tonight. But anyway, Andy, I've got more stuff that I played, but I want to hear about what you've been playing as well to break up the listeners' ears. What have you been playing with easier controls so that G sticks about because he loves the games with the easy buttons. He loves an easy button.
I've only played like one. So I played 2 games this week. I'll tell you about Battlefield 2042 first. I know you've played this as well.
I had a small shot.
I definitely want to talk about this because it's got a 42 in the fucking title, so we have to play this game. But yeah, I think this game plays a lot like Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the biggest compliment I could probably give it based on the beta. It's early access beta. It is. I believe it's available for EA access people and Game Pass people, but not regular audience until I think the 10th is out for everybody. Open beta. But anyway, like most people on the Xbox have Game Pass, so if you've got an Xbox, like give it a shot. There's one map available. It's the map with the big rocket that launches sometimes, but not always. I don't know how you trigger the rocket to launch. Like,
I've seen the rocket launch, but I've never launched because it takes you like an hour to get up that building anyway.
Yeah, so like there's some good things and some bad things about Battlefield, and specifically the beta. I think a lot of this stuff will be fixed by the time the actual game comes around. The shooting's quite solid in it. It feels like Battlefield. Guns are all fine. You've got your different classes and stuff you can play as, and you can customize those classes as well depending on what you want to play as. Obviously, in this you're leveling up and stuff like that, but you're not really gaining anything because I don't see a way for you to like spend perk points or anything like that on improving your guns and things. Because always in Battlefield, I remember like spending hours and hours and hours unlocking like new rocket launchers and stuff like that for me to use, and none of that's in the beta yet, which is fine. I imagine that will come in the full game. But yeah, shooting and stuff is fine. The game, I think the graphics are good, right? But I think there's some room for improvement. But there's big graphical hitches going on in this game. Like the shadows are horrendous, like absolutely awful. And you mentioned like the foliage is not good.
Horrible. I played this myself, obviously, so a lot of the time was hiding in bushes and stuff. Awful. Looks horrible. The draw distance is really impressive, though. If you take a minute to look at it, really impressive. But again, it plays like Battlefield 4. They have come out and said that this build's like a couple of months old now and it will be better at launch. I didn't feel like I was playing a Series X game. This would be mid Xbox One level graphics, I would say. For me, anyway. I don't think it's the graphical showcase that Call of Duty is looking like, but Call of Duty always kind of looks shinier.
I think there's something. I think the graphics have definitely improved on Xbox One, PS4. Like, definitely. Ali's definitely on the ASMR with the fucking crisps as well tonight. yeah. Yeah.
How can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you, yeah. The whole
No,
time.
you can't. No, you can't.
Crisps.
No, you can't.
I promise. Like, tell us in the chat if you can hear Ali eating his crisps. But anyway, like the problem that I had with Battlefield, though, like the gunplay and everything's fun. Like once you're fighting with people, it's good fun. Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that too. I can hear the YouTube video. I can hear all of that. I promise I fucking can. I can't talk over myself. Well, listen to me from like 30 seconds ago. Well, I can hear it. Please mute that. Anyway, the but yeah, anyway, the Battlefield. The problem that I had mainly with it is the amount of time that it takes you to get from spawn to combat. Right, spawn to combat. It's too long, way too long. And then obviously, like when you get there, like sometimes you'll die quickly, sometimes you'll last a bit longer. But because it takes you so long, it's so noisy. Because it takes. Yeah, I can hear every single word you're saying and all the crisps you're eating. But anyway, when you he's doing it deliberately to annoy me now. When you're running from like your spawn to the when you're running from your spawn to the action, it's really takes a long time, and your guy runs quite slow. Now that's not really been an issue in Battlefield before for me because generally there's a bunch of vehicles at every spawn point, and you're just like you jump on a wee shitty quad bike and you zip up to where the action is, jump off, and then start fighting. So it takes maybe like 30 seconds, a minute, maybe to get to like where you need to go. But this one, there's way less vehicles kicking around. Like so, you spawn, you look around, and like there's a couple of cars lying around, but you can't go in them. So you're like, oh, I guess I'll just run and run and run, and you'll be running for like fucking 5 minutes.
It takes
like,
so long to get anywhere.
Takes way too long. Like, and you mentioned like the problems kind of alleviated a little bit if you like spawn in a vehicle that happens to be going over.
But you can spawn in a vehicle that's in the middle of getting blown up. Like because
you can do that, yeah.
You can't spawn on a person because it comes up saying in combat. But if you try and spawn, say, in a plane, it could be in its last legs getting shot at off a building, and you've spawned inside. And it's like, oh great, I'm dead already, and then there's another 3-minute wait to get back on.
Well, I mean, the respawn's quite quick. It's like 15, 20 seconds or so.
That's unacceptable. I want 5 seconds.
I agree. I do want 5 seconds because, like, we're in Series X times now, so we want snappy. But no, I think that's the biggest problem with the game for me is the amount of time it takes you to get to the action, and like it's like I can hear all.
And then you can get there and be shot.
Yeah, I don't mind that. See if I spawned a wee bit closer, or I can get there faster. I might. It's no issue. Because it's my fault. I've run into like a I've run into an area and I've not checked like up on that roof over there or like down by that truck and like somebody's like pinged me. Fine, no problem with that. But like it is just frustrating, like trudging all the way to get back there. Like, but if it only took a few seconds or like 30 seconds or whatever to get there, then I wouldn't care if I was dying in like 10 seconds. But it just becomes a frustrating experience overall because of that. But I did enjoy it. I played it with Mark and Ian, and they did not enjoy it. I think what they didn't really like that it was like capture the flag type thing. But like I played like hundreds of hours of Battlefield 4, so like I know that that's kind of what I was expecting. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Because that's the main mode, and it's like the conquest mode, and it is where you make it. And like that game is all about the moment to moment gameplay, rather than like the overall battle. Because you'll have like some really like fun, crazy things that will happen in amongst that, and like we had a few things that happened in it, but like obviously it's beta, and most of the things that are happening are like they're crazy because like something's gone wrong with the game. So like I was running up and I seen a tank and I'm like, oh, there's a tank, and I realized it was an enemy tank. I'm like, okay, it's an enemy tank. I tried chucking a couple of grenades at it, and did some damage on it, didn't kill it, and then ended up like I sort of stood behind a rock and it drove up to me, and it hit the rock and it didn't kill me or anything because I was back from it. I'm trying to shoot it, like pointless, try to shoot a tank with a normal gun, but I was trying anyway. But then the tank was like trying to like swivel its barrel round, like its turret thing round, to like shoot me. And I'm sure on the player's screen who was playing it, like the turret looked fine and it was just going round and boom, boom, boom. But when I'm seeing it on my screen, it's going like this, chuk, 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 chuk. Like the frame rate couldn't keep up for some reason, and it was just like really jerky movements, very strange. I watched Fraser streaming a bit of the game as well. And he had one where it was like a plane had like crashed and its wing had come off, and the wing was just going like this across the screen. I'm like, okay, very strange. But yeah, like I think most of that shit will be ironed out by the time the actual game comes out. Like as you said, that is a few months old. That he's gonna get brain freeze. It's a few months old. That build. And I saw a bunch of people complain about that on Twitter, like, why are you showing us like this months old thing? Why not show us like what's new and up to date and ready to
Because they're
launch?
currently working on it.
Yeah, because they're currently working on it. They're updating it, and like the reason they're doing a beta, it's not a demo. This isn't
Stress
to try
test
to
for
sell the
servers.
game to people. Exactly. This is just for them to test the servers, and they're like,
And when
here's
they've got a
build we
game
made,
that's
like,
meant to launch
test
with
servers.
what 128 people, they need to stress test
Yeah.
that.
Totally. So like the people moaning about like online, like, and okay, like maybe I've griped about it a little bit there, but like I can see past all that shit and be like, yeah, this is beta, real beta stuff, no issue. Yeah, see, I can't talk over myself.
Yeah, you could hear it because the microphone was on there.
Yeah, but I'm going to buy this game. I'm going to buy it day one. I'm looking forward to playing the main mode, and I'm looking forward to playing like the hazard mode as well, and the like make your own map mode, whatever it is called. Like that sounds fun as well. I will not make any maps, but I will play the shit out of any random weird maps that people make. Because the cool thing about that is like look at Fortnite, what Fortnite's done with its like random creator mode. Like the amount of different things that people have put into that, and then they've been made into like full on games and stuff. Like I've played all sorts of weird like escape courses and like platforming things and like Among Us and shit like that in Fortnite. So like I can't wait to see what people can do with like Battlefield fucking engine, like and doing crazy shit in that. Like that's gonna be nuts. So yeah, I look forward to that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. It's one of my most anticipated games of this year for sure. And plus it has 42 in the title. Like we're fucking buying that game.
I'm going to get the game, but I don't need to see any more of it. Like, I don't think the beta's not a representative final product for 100% for this one, but I hope it looks a bit more polished when it launches. I'm sure it will as well, but there's still a sneaky feeling that one of the... I don't think it'll be COD, because they just basically took every member of Activision that wasn't getting done for harassment and put them on Call of Duty to work on the title. There's something about Halo and this that there's still a chance that one of them could slip to next year. And I think it's more likely to be Halo personally, because EA can fix Battlefield as they go, whereas Halo after its delay, it can't launch with a flaw. Like, and they've already took out co-op mode, and see if they think there's too much fan feedback of not having co-op day one, they'll push it till it's red. They'll push it again.
I think you've mentioned this before, but I don't see Battlefield getting delayed. Battlefield is like they've already done enough delays.
No, I think for Battlefield
it's launch now. They're not delaying it.
No,
it's like it's coming.
But Halo, they can't take that.
They're stress testing the server now with that beta, so like it's fucking coming. Halo though, you might be onto something with Halo. Like Halo is going to launch, right? But in what state does it launch? What does it launch with? Will it just have multiplayer? That is a possibility.
I think so.
They might delay the single player campaign.
I think so.
The multiplayer, I think, is 100% going to launch when they're planning it to launch, like in December. Fine. They've done a bunch of betas and stuff, so like the multiplayer is going to launch. It's the campaign is the thing that might get pushed into next year.
Yeah, it's just a shame. We're going to get games, but I hope it doesn't become a standard. Like just because of COVID doing this, I hope that big studios don't think, oh, we can just release the game like this and then add to it when it's ready and get the money now and use that. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, there's precedent for this. Look, biggest selling entertainment property of all time, Grand Theft Auto 5, launched single player only, online campaign came later.
Right. That was a complete 100+ hour single player game with so much intricate detail with stuff going on. Look at eFootball. Konami decided. Konami decided that that's acceptable. Like, come on, like that's not acceptable. Like, and you can't compare any of these to the GTA 5 storyline because it was phenomenal. You know this.
And Red Dead. I agree, but Red Dead did the same thing. Like they put out
the online component, which traditionally your multiplayer was an additional factor to your game after you'd finished the single player. Like our generation anyway, okay? And nowadays you get multiplayer only games, that's fine, but like for a game like GTA to have online as well and for it to be so successful, that was unheard of. That's not a thing that happens, but GTA Online took off, it's still popular to this day, but that's not taking away the millions of dollars that was sunk into the campaign to make that compelling storyline with all the fun missions, with the swapping of the characters. Like, that was superb. So I can't agree that was released before it was ready. What they did was they experimented with an online version of GTA for the first time ever, and they added to it as they went, and now it's really good. What these guys are doing, the Pez, sorry, what they're doing.
eFootball, thank you. Pez is fine.
Pez dead. What they're doing with Battlefield and what they're doing with Halo, do you know why it's not acceptable? Because all of these games have basically had multiplayer from the beginning. It's not like a new concept to them. What's happened is the shareholders have went, we need our money, and they're like, we're just going to have to release the bare bones product that it is. But see, the thing is, like, part of me is like, great, we need to get it eventually, but other part of me is like, is this going to become a precedent even after COVID times? Like, are companies just going to go, release that and we'll add to it? People are used to that model now. That to me is bullshit. That to me is not what I want from gaming at all. I want games like Metroid Dread. Here's your complete thing. We're not even talking about DLC post-launch or anything like that. It's finished. Play it. We'll have a patch or two for things that are discovered. I would rather a game took time and release. Like, I don't. It's just too bare bones if like Halo's just multiplayer and Battlefield's already pulled out some stuff and it doesn't have a campaign this year. It's like, all right, okay, yeah, I'll accept no campaign. I bit the bullet with Black Ops 4 for that, but Battlefield campaigns were fun. They were good. I liked that. That was kind of your training mode for multiplayer. Now they've scrapped it, and it's like you can't even finish a multiplayer game now. What? It's multiplayer only. There's nothing that you need to do. There's no cinematic stuff. Just fucking make the game. Sorry.
I didn't really like the campaigns in Battlefield. Like, I liked the multiplayer, and like COD. Okay, the campaigns were a bit better, but like.
Yeah, but you understand my point. Like, the campaign was the training mode. I
totally understand your point. The campaigns were always designed as being the training mode for the multiplayer. After you finish the campaign, you go online and then you're putting your skills to use.
Skills to pay the bills. Yo.
That's it.
Swish. That's not even anywhere near me.
But you know, I get it, and I understand why they're wanting to like push out the multiplayer stuff first, potentially, like for Halo, because that'll get a big audience.
I don't accept it. I don't accept it because I don't accept that at all for Halo, because it's like, if none of it's ready, then don't release any of it. It should be a complete package game. Battlefield's a wee bit more acceptable just because of the form that it's taken now, like Black Ops 4 did, where it was multiplayer only. Halo's still got a proper story. Like, you've just said Battlefield's throwaway, you didn't like it. I can't really remember the story of the last one. I don't like Halo, but I know the story. I know who Master Chief is. I know Cortana. And, you know, they've got a responsibility here, and they can't just go, here's multiplayer. So this is again back to the point. Halo's the one that could be delayed. Out of all of them, Halo's the one most likely. Call of Duty isn't moving because there's like 10,000 people at Activision working on it just now. Can't wait to play the skateboarding mode since they took the guys at Vicarious Visions over.
I will not buy that Call of Duty game.
No, neither will I. And just to prove a point, because you shouldn't put all your guys on it, because they're the reason we don't have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 right now. Fact, it would be out by now. I know it would.
Do you know what the biggest problem is with doing games like this kind of piecemeal sort of way? It's like when they come out, they announce all the things that come to the game. You get that sort of build up to the game where it's like they'll show you the one mode and you're like, more modes have been announced later. Okay, and then they announce the other modes. And then they've got, okay, it's a complete package, all the modes here, blah, blah, blah. Cool. And they say, here's the release date. Cool, fine. And then a month goes by and they say, such mode, not going to make launch. Okay, and then they start going into roadmaps, and then you get a roadmap, and it's like, okay, here's what's going to be in the game day one, and then a month later, here's going to be this, and 2 months later, and 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But then you get the problem of when the game launches, and it's fucked, like eFootball, or like Cyberpunk, it's fucked. So they need to work.
I wouldn't say Cyberpunk's as bad as that. I think Cyberpunk was brought out in the wrong systems. That game ran fine on Xbox One X and Pro uploads.
Oh, yeah. Like in some systems, it's fucked, right? So they had to go, because they put it out on those consoles. They had to go back and they had to fix all the fucking issues, and that's what eFootball's having to do as well. Go back and fix the issues, which means that they're not working on the new content stuff that they promised that they already pulled out of the game. So then that's delayed back, and then see when the game does really badly. That content just gets pushed and pushed and pushed until it falls off the back end, and it never comes. Like, look at Anthem.
Yeah.
Like, Anthem, it got really badly received. They tried to fix all the issues, and they probably did. And then everybody stopped playing it, and they went, what's the point in making content if no one's going to play it?
Yeah.
So they didn't make content that they promised. So that's the worry for me with these kind of big games. I don't think that'll happen with Battlefield and Halo, but like other big games it could happen with.
See,
like maybe not big games.
Again, that's not my worry. Like, if you can bring it out in pieces and it works fine, but the problem is it becoming the precedent, because shareholders will see it as fans were fine with it. Just do it that way. Just as it's made, release it. Like, I don't want games in pieces again. So, like, I don't want a Splatoon 3 to launch. Oh, you've only got Splat mode. Oh, then we're releasing the campaign. Like you said, roadmaps. Roadmaps are fine, and I understand delays this year, but see, once this last batch of games come out and we've finally kicked away the PS4 and Xbox One stragglers and everyone can buy a next-gen console, I just want full steam ahead. Here's your full game. It'll be ready when it's ready. Please be patient. You know, that's that sort of thing. Like, just wait a wee bit longer. It'll be ready. Take the Nintendo stance. Please be excited to see more about that in the future. Yeah, that's what I want. I'm fine with that. I'm so glad that Prime 4 isn't multi-format, because it would be fucked by now. We'd have like a multiplayer mode and everybody would have shat on it. So Prime 4 will be out when it's ready because it's Nintendo. And the shareholders for other companies have got to realise that people's trust doesn't remain as long as it used to. Like, people will just go, fuck you. Look at CD Projekt Red. They nearly killed themselves with Cyberpunk. Like, as a company. It was nearly dead overnight. So... yeah, and they had all the good graces in the world. Don't get me wrong, I think CD Projekt Red will bring it back round with The Witcher. Maybe by The Witcher 4, which is a few years off. Everyone's going to buy The Witcher 4. But yeah, anyway, we'll move off of that Battlefield. I'll run through some of the games I've played then in between that. So, talking of eFootball, I did play that. It has got interesting controls, I felt.
Yeah,
that's all I can say about it. It's not good at all. I got FIFA. I think I spoke about that last week. I got FIFA on the Switch. I'm fine with that for my mild interest in football. $34.99. It's absolutely fine. I finished the game this week, Andy. Whoop whoop.
Oh, what did you finish?
I'll tell you then.
Demon Souls? Dark Souls?
So I played through some more of Avengers, right, and their recent update popped a load of my achievements that were screwed, so I've only got like 9 or 10 left to 100% it, which is awesome. And you would think so, because I've got over 9 days of gameplay into the Avengers, and I still love that game, and that's all that matters. I don't care. I got my money's worth for all 3 copies I purchased and more. My favourite thing just now is, the minute they said Iron Man 1 costume was in, I'm like, fuck. I went in and bought it, and see, just flying about and doing the Iron Man punch down, even though he doesn't do that in the first movie, he doesn't do the hero punch, it still feels so cool, because I'm like, I'm Iron Man, I'm fucking Iron Man, and then I've got my Cap running about with his Infinity War suit on, I've got my Black Widow running about, and I've got usually Thor running about. It's so much fun, and I like my different pairings. I don't care what everyone says about the game, I'm going to have fun with this till it dies. I'm going to be like one of the last players keeping the servers alive, because I won't log out. I've done most of the content. I need more meaty content. I know they're working on Spider-Man, which will take it away from Xbox just now, but I need some more stuff to do now. I'm absolutely having a blast with it though.
Do you know what? Spider-Man, right? You can play that.
I don't have it on PlayStation though.
Yes, you do. It's on PlayStation now.
Yeah, I don't have it on Play. Oh, you can download the PS4 version, can't you? So that'll be different.
You can just download that.
Yeah, and what I'll do, play the Spider-Man bit and then leave it, yeah. As long as you can play... The only issue is, well, I'll have to play through the campaign first to get to that, I'm assuming.
I don't think you would, because I'm sure you would be able to just jump in and play Spider-Man. I'm sure you would be able to.
If I can, then I probably will.
Yeah.
It's not a big issue. They're not going to make it that big a deal, because it's not across the board on PC and Xbox, so... I still swear that it's going to be the Peter Parker from the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game. I'm almost sure it's going to be. Guardians of the Galaxy this month as well. I'm probably going to get that.
Yeah. I'm more interested in seeing that after the second trailer they put out, but like I'm not desperate for it.
I am. So talking of you and G's favourite game, I played the most complicated game to play on the Switch, Smash Brothers. After the Sora announcement, I fired it up, and I played the mode that I don't normally play. I usually just play a normal Smash. I played the adventure mode with the spirit board. I get quite addicted to unlocking these spirits, because some of them are really cool. They've added Metroid Dread ones as well today, which is nice of them to do. I could see this being quite addictive. Like, I know you said, was it Tim from Kinda Funny? He's unlocked every one that's come out. Every single one. Yeah. I could see me doing this, and there's like hundreds of them, because it's quite fun. Like, I was doing well, and then Lexi went, "Daddy, can I play?" And my answer was yes, but the real answer was no. You can't play this game. You're not very good. So yeah, I put on Spawncast and just played through.
Complicated controls.
Sorry.
Complicated controls.
She could still beat you. You suck. So I did play a PlayStation Plus game, I believe, this week, Andy. Straight after the show last week, actually, funnily enough. Stranded Deep. It was a game that had caught my attention. It's kind of a survival game.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So basically, you start and you're on a plane crash. You swim to your raft, you row to the shore, and you've got basic crafting, like pick up some sticks. Okay. Now pick up a coconut. Okay. Pick up a flower, and I'm like, this is so awful. It's janky as fuck as well, and the loading is awful. Like, you could walk to the other side of the very small island and it'll hit you with a loading screen, and I'm like, this wasn't like early PS4. This was like recent PS4 game, like last couple of years, and I'm playing it in PS5. The last note I've written just says no, so I gave up on it. I got through the first night, and I'm like, I have fucking no interest in playing a game that, like, survival mode in Minecraft seems better than this. Yeah, I've no interest in it.
I think like games like that, there's fun to be had there, but it's pretty much all fun created by yourself with your friends. Like, if you play that with like your pals, you can
co-op. Can you do it multiplayer? Yeah, I still wouldn't.
Yeah, but I don't fancy that one. Like, no, thank you.
It's really bad. So anyway, the game that I completed, Andy, this week, I had a kind of like Turtles mood. I was really wanting to play Turtles, and I've got Out of the Shadows on Steam, and I'm like, I can't be bothered sitting at my laptop. I don't PC game. I don't like it. So I downloaded the Mutants in Manhattan game by Platinum, which was on PlayStation. Do you know what my save was for this, Andy? The other day, after the first boss, that I think was Bebop, I finished this fucker. Do you know what? Gameplay between boss fights was dull. The boss fights were all really good. I really liked them. The levels were okay. But see, just run through City, run through Bash, like, they didn't mix it up enough for me. But the story was, I really enjoyed the story. I liked fighting Shredder, I liked Krang being involved. It had all the villains and story beats you'd expect. The classics.
Yeah.
The turtle villains and the turtle story beats you'd expect. All the turtles were like the turtles. You can swap between all four of them at any point. I did have a good time with this game at some points, but I mean, this is a very 60% game for me out of 100. Like 6 out of 10. If it wasn't Turtles, it would be 4. Yeah. And that would be how it was. Like, there was levels in the sewer. There was levels in like TCR. Is it TCRN that make those? I'm sure it is. TCRN. I can't remember, but like, it's fine. Like, it's hard. It's expensive to buy physical now, and it's not on digital stores anymore. But it was okay. It was a Turtles game. It filled the hole that I wanted it to fill at the time, and I'm still going through a kind of Turtles phase. I would go through Turtles phases all the time. Like, I'm catching back up in the comics at the moment as well, which are still awesome if you've never read the Turtles comics, by the way. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've played this week. But I do want to cover a movie for a change before we pass it back over to you, Andy.
Okay.
So I watched Black Widow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen Black Widow
on Disney Plus. And you knew my opinions of that film going in. So my opinion of it now is I fucking hate it. I hate that it's one of the best Marvel movies I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Loved every minute of it. Loved every second of screen time. It's the best film I've ever seen. See, if you watch Scarlett Johansson up to there, you're like, why she even got a job? Seeing this film, fucking superb. Like, this film should have come out after Civil War. Is my one. That's the only problem I have with it is the release date of it. If this had come out at Civil War, everyone would have went nuts going, this is such a good movie, we should move forward and do more movies. Like, everyone was going on about the actress playing Yelena. She was fine. Why is everyone ignoring Scarlett Johansson being absolutely superb? Absolutely superb. And it does retread some of my biggest worry, the flashbacks we'd seen, but it was told in present day, and I didn't go and I went in with no expectations for this film. I went in going, I'll put it on in the background while Leo's sleeping and I'm doing housework. I didn't get any housework done. I watched the entire thing in 2 parts, obviously, because it's 2 naps a day usually. Absolutely amazing action. I loved the guy from Stranger Things playing, not Crimson, what's his name? Red Guardian. Every second of this film, I'm like, I need to know more about this. I loved this. I loved the pig bit. I loved everything in this. I was engrossed. I would go as far to say it's as good as my favourite James Bond film as a spy movie. I like the action sequences. It's as good as Mission Impossible. This is the best. This is better than most Marvel films I've seen. Like, this is better than Captain America: The First Avenger, which is one of my all-time favourites. Like, I loved every minute. There was not a part of this film that I felt bored, that I felt like I've seen this before. There was parts where I was like, are you just going to tell me that again? Oh, you're not? Oh, okay. And it went off in completely different directions that I didn't expect. See the tagline that said the best Marvel movie there is, period? That's true. Like, it's better than all the Avengers movies for me. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Avengers movies, so it's an unfair comparison. I don't know what Marvel movie right now tops Black Widow for me, which is the most fucking surprising thing I've ever said in my life.
I think that's the most surprising thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was
oh my God.
it was, everything about it was great. Like, every moment of that movie took me by surprise, not because the story was so it was, I didn't expect where it went. Like, I didn't expect, okay, it was a by the beats, she goes here, does this, blah blah blah, but the story it told was told in a way that was relevant enough that it was like, yeah, okay, this film now matters. Like, I expected to watch it and go, do you know what, this is going to go in the Captain Marvel Dark World like pile, where when I watch it with Leo I can skip all these movies. Black Widow's now essential. Black Widow is as essential as Iron Man 1.
I think that I think that if you're doing a Marvel watch through, you put this film in its proper fucking place.
After Civil War.
Like after Civil War.
Straight after it. Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's what happens between when she goes on the run because she doesn't sign the Accords, and in between meeting up. And okay, the post-credit scenes after Infinity War, but that doesn't matter. The entire film is set after Civil War. So see if you look on Disney Plus, they've got now Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, or they've got timeline chronological order. So it starts with like Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2. They've put Black Widow after Civil War there, so that's the way to watch this.
Definitely.
Like, do you know what this is? This is Civil War's Rogue One. Remember when I was surprised with Rogue One as well?
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Yep.
And, like, I don't think it's as good a movie as Rogue One, right? Like, Rogue One's like a classic movie now, as far as I'm concerned. And
Oh
this
no, I
movie
agree with you in
liked
Rogue One
it.
here.
Yeah. Like, this movie, I liked it, don't get me wrong, but, like, and yeah, I kind of agree that there wasn't anything wrong with it apart from the fact that it came out about 5 years too late.
Yeah. See if they'd made this movie after Civil War, it would have got like 90% on most reviews. I know it's been rated high, but people would have been like, holy shit, Scarlett Johansson's actually been held back as a B player. Like, she was amazing in this film. I've seen her in other films when she's good. I'm referring to her performance as Black Widow, which has always kind of been background kind of. This is brilliant. This is a brilliant film. Hi, Sadiq. Sadiq says hello. Is that your wee guy? Is that the guy from your Bloodborne streams? Yeah.
I think it is, yeah. I finished Bloodborne, Sadiq, you'll be happy to know.
Yeah. He didn't stream it though. No one believes him. So they that's the talking straight as a cheat. Black Widow just took me by surprise. I can't believe how good a film that is. I'm not as interested in Yelena, but I can see the way they're going with her with Dark Avengers with like John Walker and stuff. And remember I sent you my theory that Rhodey will be there at the start and then realise that it's not good and he will leave, and they'll have like Abomination because Abomination's been reintroduced during the Ten Rings movie.
Yep, Shang-Chi. He was reintroduced in Shang-Chi, yeah.
Buddy, come see me. Come on.
See Daddy?
Say hello to Andy.
Say hello to Auntie.
She's got a wee soda.
Oh.
Look.
What?
She doesn't want
You
to.
okay?
She's upset. No.
Oh.
So yeah, that's a wee shame. So yeah, it was a really good film. Captain Marvel I did not like at all. I rewatched that as well recently because I was going through the ones I hadn't really seen. Do you know what? Bringing it back to gaming, because this is no longer big screen. See the first quarter of that movie when she escapes the ship and she's got like the cuff. That's her audition for Metroid.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
See,
a Metroid movie would be cool, yeah.
See, when I seen her doing that, I was like, this is Samus. It was a bit like in Layer Cake when Daniel Craig done his James Bond edition when he was going round the corner with the gun and stuff. That's her piece for Metroid because she's got like the two guards on her hands and she's like trying to fire.
Yep.
That's what that is. So
you make it right, actually, honestly. Like, and Metroid would make a good movie. Like,
absolutely would. I don't know why they've not just jumped on it and went like, there's a story there. Like, it's not like
probably
if you're making
Nintendo,
Mario,
like,
if you're making Mario with Chris Pratt, I don't think they really care anymore.
No, I think you may be right that all bets are off now for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
But anyway, that was just my thoughts on Black Widow. I didn't enjoy, like, I did buy the white costume out of excitement, but I still don't like Black Widow in a white suit. For me, it's got to be the standard black suit. But yeah, I really enjoyed. Do you know who was really good in it? And I didn't expect him to be good because he's in every London gangster movie I've ever seen. Was Ray Winston that played the villain? He was really good. The guy that was kind of behind the widows, and I really enjoyed that. And then she broke her nose and stuff. Like, watch this film if you like the Marvel films. I was the biggest no for this film, as Andy knows. I was like, absolutely not. There is no need for this movie. It shouldn't have even existed. Now my biggest disappointment is I didn't see it sooner. Like, Disney, you fucked up with this one. You should have released this after Civil War. I guarantee you, if this came out after Civil War, they wouldn't have killed off Natasha in Infinity War. I guarantee it. I guarantee the popularity for that character would have skyrocketed after if this had came out at the right time.
Yeah. While you were talking there, like G had commented in the chat that he couldn't reply to your cheek because he was playing
Right.
Sea of Thieves. But he does say he'll need to give his Switch code so that he can smash you at Smash.
He knows I've already got one Switch. That just shows how scared he is. Or I'd have beat him live on air.
Them's fighting words. Them's
No,
fighting
those are
words.
smashing words.
But I did play one other game that I want to talk about.
Sure.
So I talked about it a wee bit on the PD pickups video that we did. I picked up Life is Strange: True Colors, and that's the only thing I've been playing this week apart from I did that Battlefield beta. Now I mentioned on the PD pickups video this game is locked at 30 frames a second, which I think is travesty to PS5 and Series X owners because we should not be playing games at 30 frames a second anymore.
No,
Especially
no,
not
no,
like
no.
games that are not like the best
Yeah.
looking game in the world, put it that way. Like this game looks like a PS4, Xbox One game, graphically. Like there's some nice lighting effects and stuff like that, but graphically it is just an Xbox One PS4 game. Where they can make that jump up a little bit better is they can make it run at 60 frames a second, and a game like this should have no issue with that whatsoever, but it's locked at 30 and there's no option to change it, which they say is an artistic decision.
I don't buy that.
And I understand what they're going for, like try to make it like kind of soft and whatnot, like keep the movements like slow, but the game feels like clunky because of that. If you make it 60, it instantly makes it better for me. Like as we've seen with Avengers, like the graphics didn't change, the 60 frames a second from 30 did, and it made a massive difference. And like even in a game like this, where it's not a big action game, I think it does help for that kind of fluidity of movement. It makes it, I don't know, it just makes it feel better to play.
You went silent. I think you've muted yourself.
Oh, I did. I was saying, however, that
Sorry,
is my
listeners.
only gripe. Yeah. So that is my only gripe about the game because other than that, it's fucking amazing. This obviously, like I've played Life is Strange 1, Before the Storm, Life is Strange 2, and like 1 is fucking fantastic. 2 was not good, and Before the Storm, which is the sort of prequel to Life is Strange 1, was very good. And I was kind of worried about how this would go because I did not enjoy Life is Strange 2, and that's the last Life is Strange thing I played. Like first episode was good, and then after that it was really bad. It was just a bad road trip sort of movie, and it was no fun. I didn't like the characters, didn't like the story. The best part, as I said on the show before, the best part of the game was in the last episode where you could listen to a conversation of someone talking to one of the characters from Life is Strange 1. That, and just hearing what they were up to was infinitely more interesting than anything that happened in Life is Strange 2. So that kind of speaks volumes to me, like of my enjoyment for that game. Life is Strange 1 though, I loved it. Now this one has great fucking characters again, which is a big win for me. Like the main character Alex, like she's really cool. She's got like a brother called Gabe. He's cool as well. And then there's like a couple of their friends that are kicking about in the town. There's a guy Ryan, and then there's a guy Steph, which I think you can sort of choose to date one of these at some point in the game, or you might get together with one of them. It certainly seems that way anyway. Like the way they're kind of flirty with each other. And I assume there's a choice at one point where you'll go one way or the other. But all these characters are great. Like I don't really care who I end up with because they're all awesome. And even like the side characters that are in the town, like they're all cool. Like every named character is cool. All the dialogue is great. And do you know what? Like I've realized in the second episode that I was like absolutely loving the game because in the first episode I was kind of playing through and like getting to know the characters and that, and I was clicking on some of the things, you know, because like in Life is Strange, there's millions of fucking things to click on. Like you can look around the room and you can basically look at almost every like little object that's lying around, and it like the character will have something to say about it, or like they'll go and in the first episode I didn't really do that, but then from the second episode I'd found I was got really invested in the story and these characters, and I'm like, I wonder what she's got to say about like this flower. I wonder what she's got to say about that cup that's sitting over there. And like every single little thing, like I'm going around and I'm really going around every single area and looking at every single little thing. just to see what the characters are saying about the stuff that's lying about in the world. And all the dialogue shit is really well written, and like I'm absolutely loving it. The power in this game is different from the first game. So like it was a rewind power in the first game, and then in Life is Strange 2 it was like a telekinetic power. This one is an emotion based power, which I can see his phone, which doesn't seem like it would be very interesting, right? What are you doing? Like that's a very strange angle. All I can see is your phone. But anyway, the he's just about to annoy me now. But yeah, so the power in this one is an emotion-based power. So basically, you can sort of sense people's emotions and then sort of tap into them, and use that to kind of unlock more dialogue choices and do different things in the game. I'll not spoil kind of how like the way that the story goes and stuff, but it's really cool the way that people's emotions change over like the course of an interaction, even just like one interaction. Like you might talk to somebody. You might look at someone and they'll be like sad, and then you talk to them, and then they'll be happy, depending on what you say. Or maybe they'll get angry, like, and you can kind of feed off that on them. The power is also where they use the actual next gen features of the PS5. So they have haptic feedback in this game, Ali. Haptic feedback, on the left trigger, which it works really fucking cool. Because basically you hold the left trigger into you'll have to try again to sort of zoom in to the power, and that will sort of put an aura around the person, and it'll be like a different colour depending on what their mood is, and it will vibrate, and it'll like the trigger's going like this. It's very difficult to describe, but it feels fucking cool. It feels next gen when you're doing that because it's like she's struggling to control and tapping at this power. It's really cool. Like it a lot. But yeah. I'm just finished episode 3, and now episode 3 is like very different from episode 1 and 2. And like episode 1 was great, episode 2 was brilliant, and episode 3 was fucking fantastic. Like they did something really cool. So like some shit happens in one of the earlier episodes, and because of that, a character gets very sad. The wee boy gets very sad. So the other characters decide that they want to try and cheer him up. So he's basically been writing this comic book, and what the other characters in the game do is they bring the comic book to life by making a LARP, so like a live action role play game in the town for him, and he's like the main character of it, and it's playing his character from his comic that he writes, and they bring all his characters to life in the town, and basically you are then going around the town in the LARP, so you're going and fighting monsters. And you're going to explore and do quests, and you're picking up scrolls and coins and things that are lying around. And everyone's talking as if like they're in like a sort of medieval like fantasy kind of setting. And they do something really cool in it because they have you do like turn-based battles. So like you've played Life is Strange before, you know like what it's like. And this is part of like episode 3. Like I've sent you a picture here of what it's like. And I don't think I'll be able to show this on the screen. It may not work. But basically, it's like this. So you've got like a 2D plane where you've got two characters fighting against like a bad guy.
So it looks like a fighting game, but RPG style, yeah.
Yeah, it's like RPG. So you select a character and then you choose to use magic or attack or do an item. Like the whole concept of that, like, just blew my mind that they put this like RPG thing into like, a Life is Strange game, because this has never been in them before. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Really, really enjoyed that whole episode. It was brilliant, and like I hope they do kind of more things like that going forward. So yeah, really enjoyed it so far. I've got two episodes left to do because there's 5. It didn't release separately, like it's like episodes as they've done before. They released it all in one batch, but it's kind of split up into like the 5. I don't think they call it episodes. I think they call it chapters. But it's split into like 5 chapters, and each one's been. I think each one's supposed to be about 2 hours long, so it's supposed to be like 8 to 10 hours to complete it. But like I've easily put 10 hours in already because I've done so much, just like exploring and going looking at things and talking to everybody that I can, and using that power like a ridiculous amount. But yeah, it's awesome so far, like really good. They've also got like arcade games in this, so like you always like it when they do this in Yakuza. You can just go and play like an arcade game. So they've got a kind of game that's like a sort of it's not like a Dig Dug type game, but it's kind of like Pac-Man, but you're going up and down. It's like a maybe Manic Miner or something. I don't know. It's not like one I've played before. So they've got that, and I believe it is probably a game, but I can't remember the name of it. But they've got that one, and then they've also got Arkanoid, like actual Arkanoid.
You
It's
mean
called that.
Arachnoid?
No, it's called Arkanoid.
That's not.
It's called Arkanoid. It is.
That's not.
And it's the brick breaker game.
Arachnoid.
It's like
Yeah.
you've got the wee paddle thing, and it's like ping, 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 and you need to break all the blocks. And that game just seems to be there in full, like the full game in a wee arcade machine in the pub. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, because I thought it's maybe going to let me play one level, and then it'll be like, okay, that's it. But no, like it keeps going. It seems to just keep going. I ended up dying deliberately because I'm like, okay, I want to get back on with the story now. But like these things are in there, and like it's just added little touches. Because a lot of time when you're playing a game like this, like you might play like Walking Dead or one of the Telltale games or something, and maybe you were in a pub and maybe there was an arcade machine. The arcade machine wouldn't work; it would be broken, or it would be like on, but you wouldn't be able to play it. But in this game, the arcade machine's on and you can play it. So yeah, I like little touches like that. You can interact with so much shit in this world. It's mad. Yeah, this is probably better than Life is Strange 1, to be honest. Like, it's that good. You'll get games where sometimes you'll be able to come across like a bench or like somewhere with a nice view, and it will give you an option just to sit down. Like they've done it in Assassin's Creed and like a bunch of other games. So they'll give you an option to sit down. You press X, you sit down, and it just plays like a sort of montage of like clouds going by and like the vista and things. Like I've done that at every opportunity in this game, and like I don't think I've ever done it in a game before for any longer than about 5 seconds, or unless I've been trying to get a trophy for doing it. But like every time when you're doing it in this game, there's always like first time you do it, there's always like a bit of dialogue that goes along with it, and the main character Alex, she kind of recaps like how she's feeling and things about like what's going on, and there's always like a fantastic song or piece of orchestral score playing in the background, and like it's just so nice and chill. Like it's a great fucking game. Like absolutely loving this game. So this is going to be right up there with my Game of the Year stuff this year, 100%. And I was like, Metroid Dread. But I didn't play anything else.
The big screen.
There is DLC out, by the way, already for Life is Strange 2 Colors, so I'm going to probably buy that as well. And I will play that DLC, Ali. But yeah, I didn't play anything else, that's it.
Good. Thank you very much for tuning in, listening, watching. These are usually on Tuesday nights. We'll be back this Tuesday. Like, if you can get one of these, like, honestly, this is the way to, like, edge to edge, baby.
Is that Dread, yeah?
Yeah. I'm in a save room.
Okay.
So, if you can get one of these, like, get yourself a Switch. Like, it's just so much better. Like, you can't describe how much better the screen is on it until you're actually playing it. It's really one of those situations where it's like, oh my god. Like, I feel this is totally justified from the minute I turned it on. It's such a good version of the console. If you got a Switch OLED or OLED, Metroid Dread or Life is Strange, let us know in the comments what you thought about it. We'll get back to you. Drop us a like, subscribe, share, all these good things. We're going to do a news video. It'll be quick, but we're going to do a news video which will be up shortly, and my unboxing for the Switch OLED will be soon, and I might do a bit of plastic review as Andy wants that done as well. Thank you very much to everybody. Thanks Science Pie, Sadiq, everybody else who watched as well. We did be quite a few viewers. I think I named this show well. People dipping in and out. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.